Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Doc, SampleKings.com, and of course, this video is all about sampling in our MPC software. Now, this is the current version, and so the current version is right here. Go to About MPC, you'll see this, and it's 3.7.0. This also works in every other MPC, actually, even older ones, same concept, of course. It's just the newest version of it with the newest software and a few different changes. So, this was introduced after they introduced the MPC XL, the really big boy, the beast. And so now we want to go to sampling. So I'm going to go back up to here. And I'm going to pick out sampling right here. Here we go. It's sampling right there. Sample edit right there, or Command +4. And now you'll see here in the viewer we see a sample. And of course, the sample's right here. I'll press this. Well, I think I'll just press this right here. Play loop continuous. I got some drum samples here. Pretty cool samples, very clear and clean. Prefer those always. My next sample here is this chill pop. I'm listening back, of course, see how they sound. Oh, it's nice. I got the big beat. There you go. That's another. These are just variations of that I had during testing. And this is the DMX drum. Oops, like walk that way. And here we go. We have this also a used loop. Oh, I like this beat. Oh, that's old school. Hey. Now, let's do some editing. Let's check out these samples. I'm start out here with the bomb. So I got the bomb. Actually, I can show you some features too as well. I've got these samples. I'm going to go right click. When I do, I can delete, save, rename, edit, and I can stream the sample. Now I got some samples right here. I'm going to get rid of these or just test I did before earlier. I'll delete that. Oh, delete that. I go to here again. I'll delete this too. Delete that. Press delete right there. So there's an easy way to delete samples. I don't want these names to confuse me as I do the lesson. Perfect. So I go right back here to the bomb. Okay, I'm going to play this one section from the green point to the red point. I'm going to hit the first pad, which is called play from start. Okay, obviously, that's quick. Now, I want to do something. I'm going to move these points. You can move these points anywhere you want to move them. I'll move this to here. I'll back it out of here. I want to make this the start point now. That was the end. That's the start. I want to find the other part. Now, the other part should look just like this section here, I think. And I'm pretty sure that's it here. I did that way in the test. There we go. And now I'll play it again. Oh, that's cool. So you see how it works pretty much, you know? And so I can also come here in my timeline and drag down. Now this timeline can be changed as well. So here it says beat. The first option is seconds. I can go to what second or what part, millisecond of the sample I want to get to. The timeline shows us this, that this is more than just 19 seconds. The next option here, of course, is going to be samples. And these are the terms of samples. 0 up to 870,400. Okay, cool. Don't need that information. Here we go. Here's beat. I'll stick with beat. And so right here, I want to make sure I'm perfect. I can drag down here. And as I drag down or drag up, you see I can just zoom out and zoom in. I can stretch my sample. As I do, you'll see this top part here. Do the same with me. I can move this top part anywhere I want to move to as well. See that? That's kind of cool. So back to what I was doing. I'll do this again. I want to get to the very beginning of the sample. By dragging down, I can see how close I am to the beginning. And I want to get really perfect here. I'll drag down again. For me, I like to have my samples butterlicious. I get to here, right there's good. I get to that point where before this white line goes out here to amplify, I'm not doing that. I want to get to the very beginning before it amplifies. I'll do the same for the red, but I always come right here to where that red is, right behind it, and drag down. Whoa, that's too much, right? I want to go over here. I'm going to get some of this right here. I don't want to add anything. I want to get to where there's emptiness there. So the loop can just loop around. Okay, now I'll drag back up. I'll click there and then drag up. I got my sample size. Awesome. Right in the middle. So now I got my sample size. I think it's perfect. I'm good to go. Let's do some more with these buttons down here. Or actually pads. I go to here. That plays to the start of the sample. I go to here, pad number 3. It plays to the end of the sample. Pad number 4 plays from end. So it plays here at the end. It's a great way to search out whether I have a good part or not, how I can improve it. I get to check what's going on. And it goes right back to where I started from. Now, what I also want to do here is show you what happens in the other part, but I want you to notice something. Right here it says one shot. That means I hit it once and it plays straight through the end. But on the second row, here starting with pad number 5, it says, okay, play from start. So I press play here, but I must hold down my cursor on top of that. It's called note on. If I press on it, it's going to play. If I'm not on it, it's off. Got that? So the same functions that happen here in this red section, the second row, are the same ones on the first row, except they're all note on. Now, of course, this one here is called play all. So it plays everything. The entire sample to the very beginning to the end. It's a way for you to listen to it if you want to check it out. That's kind of cool. And no problem with that. I'm not going to do that. So I'll press here real quick. Stops. We have play one shot. This plays the sample size selected as a one shot. I can do the same thing here, but I got to hold it down. Now, I have no reason why they did this, but I guess they're doing this for the same reason. I guess to show what sample size you picked. Here it's from sample start, so the same size I picked. This one here, on the top, these yellow boxes here for the top row, which is 13, 14, 15, and 16 of our pads, will say, is loop. I gotta hold it down though. See that? It turns red too when I grab it. And here, it's all note on. Play to loop start, note on. Play from loop. I let go. But here, as you saw before, if I hit that one time, it will play the sample over and over and over. Watch this. Now I'm gonna grab this thing here. I can do anything I want to do here. So this is a great way for me to actually sit up here and to like move that red line where I want to while this thing plays continuously. While this loop plays continuously, I'm able to move that red or the beginning part and figure out what I want. I like doing that for me because I'm an expert and used to doing this all the time. So for me, I move faster that way. And it's a really great way to get with your samples. Now, of course, you got your samples rolling. I need to teach you more about the sampling in here. So for one thing, we have this thing all. That plays all. And you select right here. See, one slice is just one slice. If I had more than one slice here, I could pick what slice I want to play. Pretty simple. The start point is right here. This is in terms of samples. So if it's in terms of samples, I would probably come to here, drag up, go to here, go to samples, and you see it's right there. This is 22074. And this is 22, here would be 22074, I gather. And here it's 433142. And the same thing here. So this is in terms of samples based on the start point. And the loop size, which I thought this was, but it really isn't. It says loop from here. That's what it really means. We loop from this point. And this is what the loop would be, where it's locked for that. Another feature here is this one here on, which is off. Now I'm going to here, we have forward. So I press loop forward. And I just loop forward. Now it's going to alternate. Doesn't do anything right now. See that? So you got to stop it, play it. And what happens, it alternates between forward and backwards, reversing it, and forward again. I stopped that. And the next one here is going to be reverse. Just reverse from the beginning. No, actually, one time through, then reverse. Then reverse again. Okay, enough of that. And his X fade is 0. So my lines are really on 0 right there. And next to that X fade is 0. So the sound here is like, let's leave that, we'll go to here. Crossfade. So you hear that? I'm going to go back to actually to off and do it again. So it depends on how you want to do this. Sometimes I might do this in some music, have this crossfade even, but this works perfectly well either way, depending on what you check out. I can also tune these samples. I can go way up on this thing. I'm going to drag here, click and drag up here, and I'm going to tune this sample like that, right? Boy, it's faster too. And the pitch is higher, right? I'll press undo, press Command 7 here on my Mac. Stop this here. And we are at 0 again. The pitch. This is pitch at C3. What this signifies is that C3 is that if I'm on a piano keyboard and I hit the key, the middle C, which is C3, this sound will sound perfect at that pitch. If I hit C sharp, it's going to be a little bit higher in pitch. If I hit B, it's going to be a little bit lower. So the further up the keyboard, the higher. The further down, the lower. By hitting your keyboard, you'll be changing the pitch. I can select which note on the keyboard will be the root, which means which will be the keyboard note that'll play it the way it was sampled at. Now, we also have this thing here, which is called detect BPM. So to detect the BPM, it already does that. It says the BPM of this entire sample length is 100.16. That's 100 BPM, 100 beats per minute. And so you'll see it right there. Now it also has here detect key. Now the detect key thing is kind of funny. This is actually a drum beat. There's no key involved here. It's a beat. So it's kind of funny how it does that, but I guess it's what happens here in Akai. When you actually have music, it'll detect the music. So now here this X2 means 2 times, right? X2 again. That's ridiculous. So I go back down 1, 2, 3, and I'm back up again 1 time. So this is just 2 times. If you want to do that, you can experiment with that too as well. Now, we have function next. And these are the functions that we have with our MPC for the sample size. Now, the first option here is stems. If I had a song here, or let's say I had a part of a song and I had a drummer, a bass guitar player, keyboard player, a vocalist, I can get stems of all that. If I select this here, go to stems, you'll see that. But currently, I have nothing here. That's another part of the video later on. We'll cancel out that. Next here we have, I can discard. I can discard here. We'll click discard, and this is a function where I can get rid of the ends and keep the middle. And so let's do that. Do it. And now I've got this one piece right here. I'll play it back. And I stop that. Excellent. But I don't like that. So I'm going to go here and press undo. I'm back where I started from. Pretty simple. Now, I also have delete. I can delete this whole section right here. And I'll say delete. Now it's going to delete the middle section here, and the 2 parts, the ends, will come together and make a brand new sample without the section I'm deleting. I'll press do it. And you see it's a brand new sample. Let's play this back from the top. And you'll notice something. If you did it perfectly, you can't tell what happened. This is a great way to take a sample that you've got, could be a drum or it could be a sample loop or whatever, and pick the sections you want and make them work perfectly together by cutting out the parts you don't want and keeping the parts you do. Let's undo that. Great. Now, let's go to silence. I can come and silence the entire section. Okay, silence. It's going to be blank. This is pretty simple stuff, right? I get there, it's silent. It removed everything there. It kept the section there, but removed whatever music, or what the drums were in this case, that was there. Let's undo that. Now the next one we have is extract. I can extract like a tooth. I'm pulling your tooth out. I'm gonna pull this out of here. Now, as I pull this out of here, it takes the name I had there and it calls it the bomb one based on the title and putting a one next to it. It extracts it out. It becomes a brand new sample. As it becomes this brand new sample, now I can go ahead and say, you know something, it's a brand new sample. What I'm going to do here is take it out and give it a name. I do it. It's out. And you'll see it here in your sample pool. It'll say the bomb one. That's right there in the sample pool, which is like great. I can go out, select it. It's right there. It's kind of cool. Back to where I was at before. Now, I can't undo that. If I press undo, you can't because it already was made. So be aware of that. And that's how I can extract. Now I can normalize too. And so we'll take the bomb one and do that. This is the bomb one. I'll press play here. And we see how loud that is. So that's loud enough? Maybe, don't know. What we want to do is normalize the sample to get it as loud as possible. And the reason why we do this is to make sure there's no noise in the sample. And we have the full fidelity, the full accuracy of how loud the sample is without having anything that could be some little noise going in the background. It might be, I do not know. Sometimes you will have that. So I'll come to here and I'll normalize the entire sample. I'll select normalize as the function. These two icons show you what's happening. I'll press do it. And there you go. We got it right here. So next, I'll just press play loop. That sounds great. The microphone is close to that thing right now. Sounds like. And you can see a much better, fuller sound is what you really want. And that's why I always prefer to normalize my samples to make sure I have this nice full sound so I can get a really good, accurate recording of what I'm doing. So I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to keep that actually. I'm going to go here and go to reverse. Okay. Do I want to reverse this or not? I think I'm going to reverse this thing totally. So let's reverse it. And now I'll just press. Pretty simple reverse, all right? Let's undo that. I can do fade in. Here's fade in. And we can do fade in several different ways. We can do linear, which is linear tapered, which is evenly tapered from the bottom to the top, right? We have square root. We have square. We have log. We have exponent. And we have sine. So these are all typical ideas. I prefer linear. Pick what you think is best for you. I'll press do it. And now you'll see it's going to play it back linearly. Linear, so it gets it. That's a cool way to make an intro, or maybe something you might do in a song, is take the sample and go fade in. And I can also undo that. I can do fade out the same way, right? Here's fade out, and I'll press it again. I'll press here. Good, excellent. And I can undo that too as well. Now I can also change the pitch of the sample. This is sample pitch. Okay, this is obvious. I'm going to make that pitch up here pretty loud, right? I did this already, so I'm going to do it again. Let's press do it. And now watch this. Oh yeah, that's louder. Look at that. That's up in pitch too. See that pitch? Let's undo that. Let's undo this pitch thing here. Undone. All right. Now we can also time stretch a sample. This is a function that people use a lot. And what we do in time stretching is that we want to make sure we keep the same idea of the sound. Like the sound remains the same, we want to make it faster or slower. So in this case, the original tempo it claims here is 129.29, right? So when I take a sample, this will give me a much more accurate thing than what we saw here in the manual, which is 100.16. So now what I want to do is increase this by, I guess, umpteen amounts. I'm going to go to like something like 160 BPM. And I'm going to press do it. Now when I play this back, it's going to be at 116. Stop that. And so time stretching works for us to have the same pitch of the sample, but it's faster. Now, why this is great, you have a vocalist singing something, you may have recorded something, and then you want to make sure that vocalist remains the same. You just want to get the speed faster using some sort of mix you're doing. Or you could be making a song, whatever it is, you want to make sure it's going to be that way. This will help you tremendously with that. Also with beats, obviously, as you can see here, or horns or saxophones, anything. I'm going to press undo for that, which is great. Now I can also do gain change. Now we already did that when we did the time stretch. I want a little more, we'll say, right? So I may come to here. I want to get a little. I want to get a little bit, like maybe 2. Or we'll try 3. I went full saturation. So I'll press do it. Oh, it went too far. See how far I went? You can see it's smashing. And if I play this back, listen to this. It's a super full sound. Let's undo that. So it tried to go further, but if I do by 1 more, it'll just get too loud. But if you like that, you can have that because that'll give you a saturated sound. And sometimes you may want that, particularly when doing some really heavy metal sounding drums. You do want to get those drums to pound, pretty much. I can also copy this sample. I can say I want to copy the same sample, use it again someplace else. I'll make a copy of it. I call it the bomb 2. I'll press do it, and it'll appear here in my sample pool as well. That's how we can use our functions in our function section here on MPC software. Of course, below we have bit reduce, which I don't do. You can change stuff from stereo to mono, which you can do very simple. You tap this again, and you make a brand new sample. It's going to be, boom, I go to here. It makes a brand new sample. I pick what side I want. I may want the left or the right or the sum of them. I might take the summation of both of these put together, and I can make one stereo sample or make a left and right sample, either way. I prefer sum always. I'm going to just cancel that out, but you can practice at home with that fit function.